You enter the room, but then why is the baby left on himself? So, welcome to the baby in yellow. Firstly, welcome to night one. All you have to do for night one is look at the top left of your objectives, and the first thing we have to do is go to the fridge, give the baby his bottle. After we give his bottle, next step he makes a mess in his diaper, so now we have to change him. But one thing to quickly enjoy about this game is how much you can literally troll the baby. Like you can just either flush him down the toilet, send him on an oven, or even put him on the washing machine. Despite whatever you do to him, he's still gonna come back just crying something. So really interesting about that. But like, get his diaper. What does this idiot do? Easy. He's just gonna teleport away because then he just feels like it. After he teleported next to the stairs for some reason, we changed his diaper and now it's time to read him a bedtime story because then, of course, why not? One more thing, I forgot to mention that we can actually throw the baby in random places. So, time it's story time. And one thing I forgot to mention is that these storybooks are basically like representing the endings you get. Well, normally I'll say the scenarios. The cat is basically the last one. The sheep is basically gonna be the first one, since Act 1 revolves around us as the sheep. Well, morally for the first babysitter or something. The second one is the rabbit who basically escapes. A little bit of a spoiler, but come on, this game came out like what, 2 years ago or something. So like people already know about this. So we're basically just gonna skip right ahead. So after reading this stupid baby's bedtime story, now the next thing we have to do is basically lie on the couch and then start reading. Which then at this point I would not even babysit because then I'm already getting tired of children. Also another thing, all of these Dark Soul Cats things are all the previous babysitters. The fact that this guy sees them or she sees them and then is not thinking too much of them is already crazy enough. Now dozing asleep, the baby will just randomly wake up. So then we now have to settle the baby. So that's basically the end of night one. Now then, night two, now then we're back to repeat the exact same things we basically did last night. Now we go back to the fridge to feed the baby. Only this time he is watching TV. Why his parents not here? Like you would think that they would at least like double check if the babysitter at least came. The fact they left the baby alone really does shows like what is this baby even up to, especially for the parents to just leave the baby like this. So despite not wondering where this kid's parents are, this kid decides to just wants to toy around with us and then hides his own bottle. You are literally hiding your own food. Like, is you not hungry or something? Like, why are you hiding your own bottle? So now we basically have to find. Now, so now we're on a treasure hunt looking for this kid's stupid bottle. So while also looking for this kid's bottle, we why is it floating? And we find another cat. Ultra low definition. What? What even are these things? But like, anyways, every time you unlock each soul or just find one, you unlock like a different modifier or something. If we call them a modifier, they just change how the game is. Anyways, this baby basically decides to cast a spell on this diaper, making it run. So now it's cat and mouse time. Well, oh boy, did this living sentient diaper really put the babysitter into exercising time. Cause then this guy somehow knows how to dodge and weave, only for him to just bash his head on the wall. And then another cat. So we're just gonna not gonna so we're just gonna not think this is weird or something. There's a baby that turns diapers alive, and we're not even questioning it one bit. Yeah, this babysitter might not be normal at all. But hey, another cat. So five more to go. But seriously, have you guys paid attention to that? His eyes turn dark. That's already a sign that you need to get out of this building. But no, this guy is for some reason dead bent on like getting money. I am not risking my life for money. I am putting this baby to sleep and getting the crap out of this building. So that's basically the end of night. So I mean, before we end it off, the rabbit. That's usually the second ending we'll be getting. Well, normally in Act Two. So night three, I guess. But before we actually end this night, we actually hear the doorbell ringing. So we basically get our package, the Toasty 4000, and this plush starts moving. If I see a plush starts moving on its own, be sure that I'm burning it down. Like I'm not like this babysitter's saying crazy things and then they just like not even like trying to escape. Not even if it's even possible to escape, cause the elevator is literally not working and there's no stairs around, so practically trapped. What is this thing? Anyways, they just doze off and now it's time for night 3. Right, welcome to night 3. First things off is we gotta settle this baby, read him a bedtime story, and give him the right plushie because for some reason he does not want to sleep without his bedtime stories, which again follow up the endings. The ending for Act 1 of obviously it's the sheep. Like you literally see the storybook ending with it. You literally see a sheep on his door. So here's the thing. As soon as we're about to make that toast, guess what happens? So then, once we put all our spread, as soon as we use the cheese toasty, it just immediately explodes. How are we not even injured from that? And then this baby complains about us needing to feed him. Why do you want a storybook before we actually feed you? And guess what does this weird baby does? He wants us to feed him, but he decides to put the fridge far. He decides to put his milk bottle far away. Do you even want your meal? And locks us up. Now we're stuck in the fridge. Does he want to get fed or does he not? And I'll let you guys know one thing. I am terrible when it comes to mazes, so I will be here a little while. So finally escaping the fridge, this weird baby decides to just give us this disgustingly creepy face. And the fact that this babysitter is still here really shows how far gone how far gone they are. Also in the storybook or something, and great, now it's starting to rain. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. So then here's the thing. So before I continue with the story, we basically immediately get jump scared afterwards. And wow, they really updated the jump scare. I will give them props to that. But in the story, the sheep basically become so far gone that they obey every instruction like the princess says, or more uncommonly like the baby. So like that's one bit of context to say, and that's usually how this first ending goes. But the literal fact that they have a pacifier just in case this happens already is more red flags. First, the baby being left alone is already red flag number one. The baby somehow teleporting. Red flag number two. Red flag number three. Toys moving on their own. Number four. Where the souls. Number five. This. And you can't make this up. This baby is by far a demon. And oh boy, it does not end well for the babysitter, I will tell you that. Firstly, after reading the storybook, all the plushes come to life. The baby somehow spawns a throne out of nowhere, and the ceiling just evaporates, and now that's the end of Act 1. Man, is Act 1 just a fever dream, shall I say? So, let's go to Act 2. So, starting from Act 2, there's now a new babysitter that's been hired, and wow, looking from this place, it is now more wrecked, darker, and creepier than ever. Everything is broken. And again, who is babysitting this thing? You see our room looking like this, and then you're staying. No, no, I'm hitting that dash. I'm out of here. Also, again, What is even happening here? Like, how do you explain this? A walking plushie? Is this Toy Story and a floating baby with glowing eyes? Yeah, at that point you'd just be thinking you're on a fever dream. And also the elevator now works, so follow the rabbit. So then, coming out of the elevator and also following our rabbit friend, so you're probably thinking like, yo, so aren't we home free? That would be if the baby somehow didn't have a metal detector or something, and now we basically are gonna have to find papers in order to like play specific music on him, because then trying to catch him is basically impossible here unless you find all of the piano pieces in order to get the Prince lullaby. So, recovering all the torn pieces, we basically play a piano that lures the baby, then launch him with the piano just to like activate this button so we can find like a disc. So, retrieving the record thing, we basically swap it out, start playing it, and then we just wait for the baby to arrive, and we rob the baby. So, figuring out that the elevator lost power, now then we have to go to a control room in order to repair it. Well, then, isn't this just fun? Right, we make it to the control room. Use this vending machine to give us a pink fuse. Putting on the second fuse, and then the stupid baby just spawns out of nowhere. So, you know what these times call for. So, inputting the code of 4317, we basically open the vent, and you already know what time it is. Yeah, that's right, we throw the baby out of the vent. So, see ya. I'll probably come back to bite us later, but for now, we're just gonna have to continue getting all our fuses. So, fixing up the generator, now it is time to go back to the elevator. But this time, the baby might as well have a little surprise for us. Yeah, that's right, he's back and he is angry than ever. So, yeah, this certainly came back to bite us. Going back to the elevator, the baby basically comes back and now he wants all the smoke. So, let me talk about the chasing real quickly. So, what I hate about this is that the sensitivity in like this game, it is like disgustingly way too high. Like trying to precisely aim is like difficult, especially with this key section. Like you could accidentally drop the key and then the baby could literally be right behind you. Like as you can see right from there, trying to aim directly precisely it's already difficult enough, but luckily it was done first try. Then we slam this door at the baby's stupid face. Now let's continue running, because then why not, we need all the exercise. Follow the rabbit a few more times, and we finally got away from this stupid baby. Dude is trying out here to look terrifying, but no, you just suck at your job. Entering the elevator basically brings us to this building, this apartment again. So what we're gonna have to do is enter an elevator, find a key in the alternate room, open the parents' door, and then we basically have to go all the way back to the original room. So unlocking that door basically allows us to go back to here, grab the heart-shaped key, and then open this locked door that was previously locked before, and then we can finally leave the baby. So while escaping the baby, here's the trick here: just don't even bother with the baby at all. He will try his hardest to make you interact with him, but just don't. Ignoring him multiple times, and then he'll start doing other tactics in order to catch you. So getting past the baby in that part, and now then you basically have to deal with him while he attempts to blind you. Is basically the next thing you have to be careful with. So then what you have to do is basically think of him as a Minecraft Enderman. Just don't look at the screens at all. Look at them for too long, and then you basically die. That's pretty die. So like just be careful not to look at him. Then once you're basically done with that part, it is now time for us to throw the baby outside. But before we can even make any good enough progress, was somehow hit by the force by this baby and then sadly jump scared. So, what's the next thing we have to do here? Easy. Grab the baby and then start walking at 2 times speed and then immediately drop the baby down the abyss. Dropping the baby basically spawns in a bridge for some reason. So as we continue walking on the corridors, we see like a random figure just going to this painting, and then a weird symbol just shows up out of nowhere, and now all the doors have changed. So we just look at that symbol again, and then now we're basically crossing paths. After that, the baby basically comes back, and so we immediately try running away from him, but clearly he does not want us to even go to any exit. So then we immediately start running like headless chickens, and then immediately go to the right door and then continuously run. But clearly, whatever I must have done, I must have accidentally not looked at the picture correctly, because then here's the thing, choose the wrong door and then we end up dying. So then going back again and double looking at the correct door, we basically choose the right door and immediately run directly towards the elevator. The rabbit basically sends us all the way right here, and then I'm pretty sure now it's time for us to immediately escape. After we crawled through the vent and then somehow not die from that part, the baby is now ginormous, and so now we have to run. But before we actually run, but like, look at this clip right here. That's a perfect thumbnail right there. But anyways, enough of trying to get good thumbnails and all. We now have to escape the baby through whatever this giant place is. I mean, this baby somehow activated an entire domain expansion. So, after running for a bit from the baby and not dying through stupid mistakes, we now finally escaped, and now it is time for the third ending, the Curious Cat. Alright, Act 3 begins, and then again, a new babysitter has been hired because the last one basically escaped, but this time the mother sounds worried and just a little bit. So, yeah, the mother is basically dead, and a fun thing about this ending is the building now slowly shifts as we see this strange blue aura and a cat. So, what do you think happened to the mother? Well, look at the building right there. Her shoe is literally standing right next to the bed. That's right, the baby actually killed his own mother. So then, what do we do after that? Easy. We just decide to enter the attic. Then we see this cat somehow defying the laws of physics and then just jumps into a portal. And now then the painting then decides to just pull us in. So yeah, here's the thing. We're now basically into a weird pathway going to a new dimension. Following the cat, and now the cat just seemingly disappears. And now, welcome to the new dimension. Oh, then firstly, we have to fix this bookshelf, so we have to put the numbers in the correct order. Then once we basically find the correct books in order to put there, we find Newt, and then we immediately repair him, because then he's basically gonna be used in this little chapter right here. After that, we let Newt fix the elevator and go to the elevator to this little laboratory right here, where we basically interact with these plants, and then Newt uses whatever that spray does in order to convert the center of that plant into like a strange orb, to which we can use this orb in like one of those canisters. Combining both orbs, we basically make whatever this potion is. Then this happens. Yeah, whatever reason, the baby somehow just arrived here, and it is now our job to get rid of this baby once and for all. So, after fattening the baby up with another potion, we now use them to open the gardens. And now what we have to do here is get the flower right there, but it's not easy as we thought cause the baby interrupts. Newt gets annoyed, so we now have to get rid of the baby. How do we do that? So while Newt is basically chasing the baby like an idiot, we basically use a cannon bolt to attack the baby, grab the baby, put him in the cannon, and then basically just shoot him to the stratosphere. After that, we can now attend to the flower that we need for another potion we need to brew. So after doing all of that, then we basically get chased by the baby again. Okay, seriously, how many times are we exactly gonna get chased by this stupid thing exactly? Like, I feel as if it happens way too many times. There's no way that a tiny robot somehow lifted the height of someone that big. I have no idea the actual age of their babysitter, but anyways, these guys don't get paid enough to do this. Well, I mean, they don't even know what they were even dealing with. But anyways, after juking the baby, we now take the orb, and then whatever this babysitter does after the baby is basically taken away. So the baby basically got absorbed into the thing, but the sitter decides to open the literal gateway that literally points the symbol that this baby makes. And you wanna know what happens? Yep, that's right. This babysitter just released all of the baby in yellow siblings. That's right, not just one, multiple of them. This is by far the dumbest thing this babysitter has done. This babysitter is even dumber than the first one. Well, now everyone else is doomed. But anyways, that'll basically be the end of this video. Hope you did enjoy the video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And sorry if it took a while, just a lot of things I had to deal with, for example, too many things. So anyways, sorry for the late upload, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.